Welcome to Take Another Look with Guerdah Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo with a genuine conversation about what's missing from the human connection. Let's join Melanie and Guerdah now.
Good day and welcome to another episode of Take Another Look. I'm Melanie Taddeo Malo and I am joined with my co-host
Guerdah Felix.
This is the podcast where we talk about conversations that could be uncomfortable and where we see you just as you are. Guerdah, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, Melanie. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much. I am so excited. I get to let the audience learn more about you today. We're going to have a conversation with Guerdah, really to peel back the layers because there's multiple layers. You're a dynamic woman, and I'm very excited about this opportunity. So let's just dive right into it. So I'd like you to share with us, Guerdah, who Guerdah is. Go from childhood to today. What has led to where you are today, please?
Wow, that feels like a loaded question. Let me start when I was a child. I was born and I grew up in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince, to be clear. And then at a young age, I moved to Canada. When I lived in Haiti, we had a beautiful life. We did. And then I felt that everything was uprooted when we came to Canada. And I needed, along with my sisters and brothers and the whole family, we needed to adjust and adapt. And as children, we did. But what I can say is, although children adapt, there is something that perhaps they cannot make sense of. And I think that's what happened to me. Because when you come to a new country and seeing new people or people who are not like you, who don't look like you, you also have to learn a new culture, a new way of life. And coming from a very warm country and when we came in a snowstorm. That's a very big difference. So we had to adapt and adjust to our new environment. We moved a lot because when we came on January 26th, and then my father was already here, so he prepared for us. And so when we came, my mom and my siblings on January 26th, and then on February, I think it's February 4th, either February 4th or February 8th, the house where we lived was on fire.
Oh, welcome, right?
So think about, leaving everything that you loved and that you've known since you were a child, and then move everything and then come to a new country and then having to move again. So which means that there's a lot of things that have happened during that time. But we adjusted as best as we could. The language was not a barrier to a certain extent, because although I speak French, this is my mother tongue, as they say, the accent is very different than the accent that we have in Canada. In Haiti, we have the French, Parisian type of French. In Quebec, Montreal, they're very different accents. So I needed to adapt myself to that as well. My adolescence was, I like to say, it was challenging. There were many things I lived through, but I did the best I could in terms of school, because to me, that was my out, my way to escape. And then I went to college, then university, and then after a while living in Montreal, I decided to come to another province, which is Ontario, where I live now. I have studied many things. I think I was searching for what would bring me to the person that I am today and what I love to do, which is spiritual life coaching.
And what is spiritual life coaching? Can you explain it for myself and the audience?
Well, I believe that we all of us are born with a spirit. So this is what I believe. We are spiritual beings. I truly believe, that's what I truly believe. And that's what I was raised in. My mom always told us, the spirit within you, you have to be very careful, mindful of the spirit within you, because this is your essence. So when I started to study spiritual life coach, I thought, oh, they speak my language. The spirit within you is the very depth of who you are. What makes you do what you do, what makes you say what you say, the experiences that you've had, and so on. And many of us have not taken the time to understand that part. And that's why in our lives, we repeat a lot of our own mistakes because we don't understand what's going on. So spiritual life coaching and life coaching in general is really to, when we are in sessions with our clients, is to invite them to look within and there are many ways to do this. So by asking them questions, by having them understanding what is being presented and how that is in their own life. So it's really having the client to understand to a deeper level, what is it that is causing a barrier? What is it that needs to be brought to the surface so that they can understand who they are truly? And that's what life coaching is. So to be an effective life coach, I need to continually life coach myself.
Okay, now you and I have had this conversation several times that some people just call themselves coaches because it's a fancy term, it makes it sound professional. But you actually went for some intense training to be a spiritual life coach. Is that correct? Can you tell us a bit about that?
I did. So I studied with, let me see if I can remember the name. It's a school in the States, Holistic Learning Centers. They are non-denominational, so it's not about religion. And I studied with them. Actually, when I did the one-on-one, so there's life coaching one-on-one. I did that in 2012, at the end of 2012. Then I moved into the 201, which I did in 2013, and the 202 finished in 2014. So that was what I did, which means that every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m., I was in front of the computer and on my phone, and this was class for me. Every Wednesday night I had class. Then I had to make sure to do my homework. And by Friday, I had to hand in the homework. In the same week, I had to make sure to coach 3 people because that was my practicum. I needed to what I learned, I also needed to practice it. And before come to class, I have to make sure that I prepare for the next lesson. And also, while we were in class, we also had coaching. So it was intense because as I learned to recognize, to learn, to understand, to love and accept myself, there were many things that needed to be brought to the surface so that I truly understand who I am.
That sounds overwhelming, but also so engaging. And I know you're amazing at what you do. So that, I guess the training definitely was beneficial. Guerdah, what inspires you to do the work that you do?
You know, it's like the best things come from the hard things. For example, a diamond is not the first time, it's not a diamond. You have to work at it to discover that. And I believe that it is the same thing for us individual beings. It's the same thing. I love it because I know what's underneath. I know the masterpiece that each and every one of us is. I know it. I can see it. And even when I am in session with people and there are certain things that are happening, before the revelation comes to them, I can see, I can feel it, and I know that it is coming. And I'm so excited in those moments because I can feel it and I can see it. So for me, this is a beautiful work, but it is work. And I call it heart work. You have to go within and you have to be comfortable sitting with what is uncomfortable, because there will be parts that are not comfortable.
Yes. And I love that term heart work, because that's truly what it is.
Yes.
Guerdah,
yes, that's what it is.
We all have many different gifts, talents, and abilities. And there's a couple that I really am in awe of you, that you possess. And I'm just going to go through a couple of them. So I'm going to explain to our audience. Guerdah and I have worked on many different projects together for Toastmasters. And when you hear about event planning, yeah, that's fun. You can plan a party, you can plan a wedding, you know, make sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and you have everything in order. But when you work with Guerdah to plan an event, it's an experience. So tell us a little bit about how you plan your experiences, Guerdah.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Melanie. My experience starts with my vision. And in a way, well, for me, it is simple because I don't like nothing that is too complicated. And although I say it is simple, it is also glorious. And I think because of that simplicity part, I can visualize, I can see many different segments to whatever I am creating. For example, I have, well, Melanie, you know, we've done the Resonance of Stars. I have done many by Speak at Toastmasters. I've done many, how can I call that? Many events if you want. And the main intention behind all of those events is for every person to feel seen, heard, appreciated, valued, understood. For me, all of this is put behind what I create.
And I just have to interject here. You say it's simple, but guys, we're not talking simple, okay? Resonance of Stars, 3 different elements to the event, different time zones. We had a brunch, we had a tea party and a gala all in 3 hours. It was incredible. It's not simple, but Guerdah is talking about simple from her perspective. So she can be creative. Your creativity, Guerdah, is outstanding. You see this vision in your mind and you can have people do a visualization with you and we understand what you want. And it's so powerful. And it's amazing that everybody steps forward and plays their part to make this happen. And then perhaps it's simple because you've orchestrated this beautiful art piece and voila. So I encourage you, if you ever have opportunity to go to an experience or event, put on by Guerdah Felix. You guys need to check it out.
Thank you, Melanie. You know, and it's all about energy too. I am a firm believer in energy, meaning that what you carry with you as you come into connection with someone else is very important. Because if you come and you bring the sad part of you, that's the way you are going to connect with someone. And I know people like me, I will feel it, I will sense it, it will affect me to some degree. And that's why I'm very mindful and intentional about how I will be when I come into connection with someone else.
Okay, did you see my questions, Guerdah? I didn't even give it to you. You went right into the next gift and ability. I was going to talk about your ability to connect with people. Why do you feel that having a connection with somebody is so vital instead of just, hey, how's it going? And that's it.
Well, because first of all, I believe that we are interconnected. What one person does affects another. Everything actually in this world affects another. And because if we are not aware of that, and if we think it's only us, well, then we would have missed something. It is, for example, when we are preparing a meeting, it is not okay for me to do whatever I feel like doing, because then I know that the way that I am will affect someone else. Because of that, I am very conscious that if you need something from me, and I have given you my word that it will be done by a certain time, then it is my duty to be my word. Because I know if not, you will be affected because we are interconnected.
Why do you feel that not everybody gets that, Guerdah? Because can you imagine how amazing the world would be if we all got that? And really...
Well, you know, I can tell that not everyone. Well, first of all, for a couple of reasons. Let me say that. A lot of my friends always say to me, the way that you are thinking about other people, I can pretty much tell you that most people don't think about other people the same way. That's one thing I hear often. So there's that. Second of all, it's because of the results, because of the things that I see around me. I can tell. Because if person A thought that what they did affected person B, I think we would be more mindful.
So what can we do to get people to realize, like what simple steps could we take to realize the importance of connection for people to really grasp it? Because honestly, it's a powerful thing, not just in conversation, but in the way that we treat one another. It's just so vital.
Well, it is a powerful thing. And I think we've had a blank canvas given to us in this pandemic. Because the fact that we were not able to connect as much would communicate to us how much it is important. And then from that, we would understand, well, how more loving we need to be with one another. Right? I mean, yes. We've had the pandemic to show us. But this is not what we were doing. We are merely, that's not a nice word, but in a way, I think what we are doing, we are still resisting.
It's true. Do you think that's because some people may be afraid of that connection or people seeing them as they are? And I really wish they wouldn't be, because it's a beautiful thing.
I think it could be that, and also the fact that for some reason we like to compare ourselves to others. That's probably why I don't like contests. Because to me, in a way, although it's not that, but in a way it feels like that. So that's why I don't like contests, because I know each and every one of us, we are very powerful the way we are, because we were created with a set of gifts and talents that are specific to who we are. So, but when we focus on comparing ourselves to another, in a way, we are denying the masterpiece that we are. Does that make sense?
Definitely, that's deep. It's very deep words and so accurate, bang on. All of us have unique differences and qualities and gifts and talents. We talk about this a lot. And you work with people of all abilities, all backgrounds. Can you tell me what draws you in to celebrate everybody's differences? Because you do that so beautifully.
I'm very curious about people. I am. And, I see people as unique. Therefore, they're not like me. Thank God sometimes for that, But because I know they're not like me, I am curious. So when I meet someone, when I work with someone, I come from a place of curiosity because I want to understand what brought you here. Not what's wrong with you, but what brought you here? What did you have to go through? What are the tools that you needed to, to understand or to assemble for you to be the person that you are today? And that is in good and bad, if you want to say it like, high and lows, good and bad, if you want to say it this way. So for me, it's curiosity. I'm curious about people. So that's why because I'm curious, I want you to show me who you are. That's why I feel more comfortable with people who can come and ask questions, with people who they don't know something, they say, I don't know, because that's the only way I know how to help you. If you tell me that you don't know. And for me, there is no shame, there is no blame, there is no judgment, because I really like to hear I don't know. And I say that myself. Well, if you ask me a question and I don't know, I'll say, I don't know. Because I don't need to know everything. And the more I know that I don't know. so yeah, for me, it's coming from a place of curiosity.
And I think coming along with that, you also have this genuine caringness, compassionate side to you that people feel comfortable to come and share their experiences with you. And you are referred to as the active listener. And you've got this gift of listening to what people are saying and also what they're not saying. So can you talk about how that gift has helped you?
Yes, I think first of all, I'm an observer. So I observe people a lot. That's the first thing. And the active listening part has kicked in when I started to meditate, which was in 2012. Because when you learn to meditate so profoundly, you can hear parts of your body when they are doing something. And it's the same as when people are speaking. If you observe them, if you listen so deeply, you will understand, you will catch when they are holding themselves back for not saying what they need to say or for not being who they need to be in that moment. There is something that is that's a word I'm looking for. There is something that is very effervescent in communication and conversation with one another. And that's that bubbling sensations happening that I like to experience in other people as they say or don't say something.
This is, Guerdah, we need to have like 5 interviews because I didn't even get through half my questions. But tell us, how can our audience learn more about the work that you do? What is the name of your company? Share with us how they can get in touch with you, please.
Well, right now I can say the company is kind of on a break because, to tell the truth is that I have the name, Glorious Life Unfolding, The Glorious Life Unfolding .com, yes. And I have a name, and now I have taken a break because in the pandemic, I needed to take time to truly understand how I am going to move forward, because I love coaching. I love events. I love having conversations with others. All this is how can I put it together so that when I can say, welcome to the Glorious Life Unfolding, and I can feel not only proud, but I can feel ready. And I know there's something that says, well, you're never going to be ready, but at least I need to feel like inside of me, what I offer you is gold.
And you know what, guys, trust me, it is amazing. And one last question really quickly before we have to close up for this episode, Guerdah, is what is the one thing you've learned about yourself through the pandemic?
I've learned many.
That's for one.
I know I've learned many. First of all, I've learned that it's hard to give only one, but I'll say that I've learned that I love to do events, to create. I love to create. I am a creative. I am, and fully, like I've done this in many ways, many different places in my life. I love to create, and I love when everybody come together and you experience something that will have you think about it like years and years after you've experienced it. And I've done this with many different people. I've done this with the children. I've done this, when I was an adolescent. I've done this, young adult. For me, this is important that once you've gone through this experience, when you think about it again, this was something glorious.
I can't wait till you take this to the next level. I know it's gonna be incredible. That's all the time we have for today, guys. I want to thank you for joining us for this amazing conversation with Guerdah. Felix, who has so much to share, and we will definitely have another conversation like this so you get to know her a little bit better. Please connect with us. Visit our website, takeanotherlookpodcast.com. Our social media platforms are coming. Stay tuned. We can't wait to connect with you and hear your thoughts and your feedback. Until next time, I'm Melanie Tadio-Malo, and I've been joined by my amazing co-host,
Guerdah Felix, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for this beautiful conversation, Melanie.
My pleasure, and thank you. Until next time, everyone, stay safe.
Bye for now.